Welcome to the Thursday. Is it? Yeah, it's April 30th, huh? Yeah. Welcome to everyone to the Thursday, April 30th, San Diego City County Reinvestment Task Force meeting. It is currently 2:08 p.m. and I will call the meeting to order. Deborah, please call the roll.
Oh, see, you threw me for a loop. I did not know I was doing
It's
that.
okay.
But we're good.
No, we can go around the table and everyone just name who you are and who you are representing, what organization you're representing. We'll start here.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa Rojas. I'm a program manager also with CSA San Diego County.
Hi everyone, Karina Velasquez, Senior Program Officer with LISC San Diego.
I'm Mandy Cole. I am with U.S. Bank on the foundation.
Hello, everyone. Sergio Carroll with Citibank.
Adolfo Ventura with MAC. Peter Armstrong with Wakeland.
Stephen Russell with the San Diego Housing Federation.
Monica Montgomery, Step Co-Chair.
Deborah Fisher-Falk, staff to the RTF.
Kwafi Reed, San Diego Habitat for Humanity.
Antonio Barbosa with Wells Fargo.
Irene Boyer with the International Rescue Committee.
Jolina Pamela with Accessity.
Robert Lopez with JP Morgan. I'm alternate for Emily Dang.
Okay, wonderful. Now let's go on into non-agenda public comment. We do have one slip that has been filled out, and it's Dr. Leah Benami. Yes, please come up to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Testing. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Dr. Leah Benami, and I'm a property manager of an affordable housing unit and part of the workforce that San Diego says that it wants to attract and retain. I want to share what's working and what is putting downtown's affordability strategy at a real risk. First, what's working? The downtown partnership, San Diego partnership, has been a strong ally in making downtown feel livable and connected. They have activated public spaces, brought employers and residents together, and have created conditions that make people want to be downtown. And that really matters, but I want to be candid that it's not working in terms of the basics. So parking and utilities and how that's directly undermining affordable housing commitments. So the real estate company that owns my building is on the fence if they want to stay in the city of San Diego, about 50-50 at this time. About continuing affordable units downtown. The reason that they've shared with me is not abstract, they're very specific, focused on fixable failures and the city level infrastructure and services. So the first includes that we had a water outage that lasted for hours. When we reached out to the city council, District 3 and water department, responses were essentially your meter's broken, and if the external meter is the issue, just the property's problem to absorb. The second issue is that we had a citywide internet outage that lasted for hours, multiple days, and as a remote employee, that was a huge inconvenience. Cox owns electricians, has told us that he's been working 14-hour days to keep it up, and that a trench was built that's causing grid instability. In a city that markets itself as tech and a life sciences hub, basic connectivity is not optional, and it's prerequisites for residents and employers. And on parking, there's no safe, reliable overnight option. The building has attempted to partner with F11 and Idea One, and even they don't have enough parking for their own tenants, let alone nearby residents. So the only overnight lot that's available to many of us is one near the Salvation Army, and it's dangerous, it's filthy, and still costs a minimum of $200 a month. So we're asking for affordable renters to shoulder premium costs for unsafe parking just to live downtown. So from my vantage point, we're asking residents, property owners, and employers to build into an affordable downtown vision while the city's not delivering on the basics of reliable utilities and safe, accessible parking. So if those pieces aren't addressed, people will walk away, including my realting affordable housing company. So we're hoping that we can treat water and internet reliability in affordable downtown properties as a core housing stability issue, develop concrete plans for safe, reasonably priced overnight parking for residents in and around affordable properties downtown, and create a clear escalation pathway for affordable property owners. Okay, I'm here because I want to stay downtown. I know my time's up, so that's it. Thank you.
That was perfect. Thank you very much. Another public commenter, Derek Luckett. You have 3 minutes, sir, and please, anyone else who wishes to comment, please submit your speaker slip now.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You can proceed whenever you are ready.
All right. My name is Derek Luckett. I'm the owner of Destiny 6 Financial Real Estate and Mortgage Company. I'm the immediate past chairman of the board for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, the black real estate brokers across the country. I have been working in an LMI census tract for over 25 years. I grew up in the LMI census tract. The reason this is important for me to come here is because I don't think the money is making it into the census tracts. Not only in the local markets, but on a national scale, it's not making it in census tracts because we've also visited across the country different communities, and the money stops somewhere. There's a hole in the bucket before it gets to where it should go. In this particular case, I want to talk about a couple of things that I feel that there's gaps. And these gaps are the reason why I feel that the money isn't making it to where it should go. There's a lending gap. Okay, the lending gap itself, basically in San Diego County, about 45% of the census tracts are low to moderate income. 20 to 25% of that is lending. The minimum 20% gap, there's a minimum. And at the same time, black residents make up about 5 to 6% of the population, receive only 2% of those loans. That's about 50% underrepresentation. The denial rate is much higher. The development and funding gap, money is going to the developers, but the developers are not bringing in the workforce that goes with that. And if we're not holding the holding the developers accountable to make sure that they are employing people, bringing money into the community, if they're not bringing wealth into the community, or taking wealth out of the community. So we need to make sure that that stops happening. System statement, pretty much. I think there's a lack of the system to make sure that it's running properly. There's plenty of capital. It's just not deploying where it should be going. Okay. The demand. I think that we need to report lending and participation by race and income. Show measurable workforce outcomes that's tied to every project that is being funded. We should also make sure that we demonstrate LMI community participation and funding performance, not just approvals. One other thing that I do want to make sure that I make perfectly clear, without measurable outcomes, we're only measuring activities. And I think we're smarter than that, we're better than that, and we're a city that can actually do better if we want to. So I'm encouraging this task force that we come up with a way that we can actually facilitate, monitor, track, measure, make sure whoever's receiving the funds are taking the funds and putting them in the communities in which they deserve to be in. If we don't do that, we're not doing what we should be doing. And that too creates a different type of impact. And I think everybody at this table know what that impact is. So with that being said, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate everything. Have a good day.
Thank you so very much. Okay, I don't see any other requests to speak on non-agenda. So we're going to go to the consent agenda. Any comments from the public on this? Okay, thank you. If there are no comments or discussion from task force members, we can entertain a motion at this time. The consent agenda includes the approval of the minutes and the approval of proposed calendar year of 2026. All right.
Second.
Motion. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Passes unanimously, and I'll turn it over to our co-chair, Councilmember Henry L. Foster III.
Why, thank you, co-chair. I guess we will be moving on, and Deborah, as I just step in, correct me if I'm incorrect, please. We'll move on to item 5, which is our information agenda, and we will start with our fiscal year 2026 financial and programmatic update. This report will be given by Deborah Fischel-Falk, RTF staff and Senior Vice President of Community and Strategic Initiatives. How much time would you need? Are you going there? Are you going to do it from here? How are we going to do this?
It's quite a short and succinct report, and so it probably is going to take me a minute or two to run through it, and if there's any discussion, you can certainly have that. So I'm going to start out very formal and say good afternoon, Vice Chair Foster and Montgomery Stepp, and the members of the City County Reinvestment Task Force. I'm Deborah Fischel-Falk, as Council Member Foster had said, and I am your new staff support. And in preparation for my new role, I took a look at the prior meetings and noticed that there hadn't been a financial or programmatic report in a very, very long time. And I felt like that's something that's important and necessary, that you know how much money that you have available to you to do programs and projects. So I reached out to our grants team, who manages the funds, and the Commission's fiscal department, who manages the budget. And the information I received is for the beginning of fiscal year 2026, which is July 1st, 2025, through March 31st, 2026. Now, this slide shows the funds that have been awarded, the date awarded, and the funders. So a total of $125,000 was awarded during this time period, and the funders included the County of San Diego, thank you very much, U.S. Bank, City Community Investment and Development, J.P. Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. Thank you all. Now, this slide represents the RTF's budget and includes the beginning fund balance, revenues, expenses, and the remaining funds available. You'll see that you have $103,000 available, a little over $103,000. This reflects actual funds received rather than awarded. That's why there's a difference between the prior slide and this slide. Staffing costs are funded with county CDBG and Housing Commission local funds. The overall remaining balance is a little over $103.5 thousand to be used at your discretion for projects and programs. So for programmatic highlights, the task force conducted a comprehensive review of the bylaws, county and city resolutions, policies, the master plan and existing laws, and considered potential updates. You also awarded a contract to Christensen and Spath for as-needed legal services and received presentations from 7 members regarding their activities. In addition, you received presentations and/or reports regarding the California Reinvestment Act, the San Diego Housing Commission's Affordable Housing Preservation Fund and First-Time Homebuyer Program, county and city legislative program updates, and the 2024 Community Investment Report. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All righty, thank you for your presentation. Clerk, do we have any public comment for this item? All righty, thank you so much. And I'll turn it over to task force members for any questions and or comments.
No, you have $103,000. You're plus $103.5 thousand.
Right, that's the working capital, but in general, there's less revenue than expense.
Sort of. I would say sort of, because some of the funds to support the staffing comes from the Housing Commission, and we don't always roll that in here. That's just a given. So for all purposes of what you can expend and what you have available, it's $103,576,000. Some of the money that has been awarded has not been received yet, so it's not reflected in this too.
Mr. Russell?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to ask, you talked about the staff contribution from the Housing Commission. So traditionally it's been going way back, it was 50-50, the city and county, and then the city took over through the Housing Commission, the administration. How do you quantify that, the contribution from the city?
We use our local funds, and since we are an agency of the city, I think we perform the task at the city's request.
But is there a dollar value associated with it that you've assigned?
Whatever is, we put the $75,000 that the county provides towards the staff expense, and whatever is missing and whatever time that I do or whatever the previous people were done, the Housing Commission pays for that staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So they add to that, so it's a combo.
That's fine. Thank you. Well, what it answers to me is, given the budget at the city, that we're not at risk of losing. We don't have money here that was going to go away in the new budget.
That's correct. You're using existing staff that's already paid by the Housing Commission.
Yes.
So, and I'm here.
You're here.
Quantify the 75,000 in-kind contribution to this. So essentially, it would be about 200,000 in revenue if we're paying 50% of it. In-kind staff contributions. Is what I'm.
Yeah.
So what I can do is at the last meeting, I'll do a year end, and I'll have our financial people come in. I'm clearly not the financial person, so.
My only concern is that we are sustainable, and it sounds like we can sustain this effort.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think just as we close this item, I think what you're hearing, Deborah, it would be helpful to have that San Diego Housing Commission piece noted, regardless of what the dollars
The
are.
contribution of the San Diego
Yeah.
Housing, yes, we'll do.
Correct.
Yes.
All righty, with that, I see no one else that has any questions or comments.
One quick one, Chair. Just with the amounts that are here that have been awarded, it would be good, I just want to make sure that the county has, paid everything into the pot that we committed to. So if you can answer that now, great. If not, then let me know.
Yes, the county has put in their portion, yes.
Okay.
We put in a request, county approves it, and then we send something to you, and you send us our money.
Okay, thank you. That means someone else has not paid yet. Or does that mean, or does it mean we're not accounting for the Housing Commission's portion?
It would mean that the Housing Commission's paying a bit more because of the staff. So, and we always ask everybody here that contributes for more each year. So we'll be asking.
I was going to say, bill is due. Okay.
Yes, Deborah, you are expensive.
Chair, just one note, if I may. When the awards were announced, I think we skipped over the note here that Wells Fargo provided an additional 15 to support a research project to update the housing instability in San Diego. So thank you, Wells Fargo.
Yes, I put that in the report. I made that note specifically because it wasn't for the RTF, but I wanted to acknowledge that Wells Fargo gave a little bit extra for us and appreciate that.
All righty, seeing no other hands for questions or comments. Thank you, everyone, for your input. And I guess, Deborah, just one question from me as we look at this balance, or as you say, we have 103,000. I'm assuming that you are working on what potential options that we can do with those dollars, and we should do the same and look at how we can use those to maximize our mission, right, our goals and objectives. So.
Yes, we have a couple of ideas that we'll be discussing and bringing forward to you about some maybe pilot programs that you want to consider. specifically related to small business possibly, and also for preservation, housing preservation, to do routine maintenance, small routine maintenance, make some grant awards.
Okay,
But we want to bring him forward with some more meat on the bones.
understood. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. So that will bring item 5 to a conclusion, and we will move on to item 6, which is Civic Communities Partners Presentation. This informational report will be presented by Andy Phillips, Civic Communities President, and Gustavo, how do you pronounce this? Bedard? VP Community and Economic Development. They will be joined also by Executive Vice President Michael, how do you pronounce it? Lingel, and Vice President Joanna Whitley Broussard. So with that, I will turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present to the task force. As mentioned, I'm Andrew Phillips. I'm the President and CEO with Civic Communities. We're excited to talk about Civic Communities and our activities in the last year. Introduce to those on the task force that aren't familiar with Civic Communities who we are, and those that have been partners of ours, update you on our activities. Civic Communities is a San Diego-based nonprofit. We're federally certified CDFI and CDE for new market tax credits. We're a mission-driven organization. Our mission is to spur economic opportunity by investing and delivering solutions that build healthy and thriving neighborhoods. We offer capital solutions through flexible loans, advisory services, and technical services. And really our outcomes look to support housing, particularly low-income housing and middle-income housing, community-based organizations, as well as small businesses achieve their goals and objectives. At a high level, Civic Community, over the life of our organization, has invested about $345 million into our communities. Those loans have helped more than 470,000 low-income individuals and helped create more than 5,000 jobs. In 2025 alone, Civic deployed $3.7 million into the community. That helped facilitate 275 new homes, of which 223 were affordable. More than 2,000 individuals were served through those loans and helped create 50 jobs. In terms of our CDFI program specifically, we offer gap financing that ranges from $25,000 to about $750,000 with favorable terms and flexible underwriting, mostly focusing on commercial real estate and nonprofit community development lending, projects such as community centers, medical facilities, childcare, affordable housing, mixed-use housing, and small business. We have two main lending programs. We have our community impact lending. It's really for nonprofit organizations, community facilities, and small business loans, as well as our housing loans, which is geared towards land acquisition loans and pre-development loans. An example of our financing is our loan to Nile Sisters. It was $1 million loan to help Nile Sisters acquire a building and expand their operations. They are a certified CNA training program. They have contracts with the county, the state, and federal, and this allowed them to expand their training programs. Overall, as a CDFI, we're actually recently certified in 2020 as a CDFI. We actually were CDE first. Since 2020, we've deployed about $16 million in a San Diego loan. That has helped facilitate over 1,000 new homes, of which 787 of those were affordable. Those loans have helped more than 4,000 low-income individuals and helped create more than 700 jobs. Our loans, 96% of them have gone into low-income communities, and more than 37% are directly to minority-owned businesses. In 2025 alone, $3.6 million went out, helping facilitate the 275 loans, the 223 affordable housing, and in 2025, 89% of it was into low-income communities and 33% to minority-owned businesses. In terms of our new market tax credit program, we offer loans that range from $6 million to $20 million. It's specifically geared towards gap financing, focusing on community facilities, educational facilities, healthcare, youth serving, as well as manufacturing facilities. Borrowers can be nonprofit, for-profit. We finance both real estate and ongoing operations. Typically, we're looking for projects with total project cost of $8 to $30 million. Site control, and they're in a highly distressed area, those areas that are in the red on the map. To date, $328 million has been deployed in new market tax credits. That has helped serve more than 460,000 low-income individuals, 1,300 students, more than 1,000 unhoused individuals, and helped create more than 4,000 jobs, and 100% of our new market tax credit loans have gone into low-income communities. Excited about some of the projects that were completed this year. We saw the Family Health Center Diamond 2 project grand opening, the South Bay Community Center project open this year, as well as Sharp Healthcare Chula Vista project. And we had one project complete its 7-year compliance period, the living rooms at the border. And then just this week, we were excited to have funded the Rise Up Industry, which was a $10 million project. It's a nonprofit mission to prevent gang and involvement and prevention. They have an 18-month reentry program. It's a machine shop social enterprise, and their average wage start at $23 and go up to $25. And the loan will allow them to expand their program from 20 individuals to 48 individuals. And then we have our BBS program, which is part of our technical assistance that we provide. We provide access and educational mentoring through sponsorships and trainings. We promote procurement opportunities, as well as providing access to capital. We're actually excited about this year. It was a banner year for us in terms of our training programs. We had 17 cohorts throughout the year. Each cohort is usually 4 to 6 classes. We had 380 individuals participate, of which 231 of those were minority participants, 147 were women participants, 53 were veterans, and 24 were disabled participants. We also were able to secure about $325,000 for the program through grants, and we're actually thankful to U.S. Bank, who provided their first multi-year, 3-year support of this program as well. We expanded a specific program for San Ysidro, and we strengthened our relationships with our training partners, Apex, SBDC, the Better Business Bureau, and the Black Entrepreneurs Learning and Leadership. And then we also have our Access to Capital intern program, where we're preparing tomorrow's youth, and we're excited about that program. We had four interns, and in this case, they're not our interns. We provide grants to local BIDs and chambers to allow the interns to work directly with those business improvement districts, help them understand what's the financial needs, the lending needs, the capital needs in the individual districts. And we had 2 in San Ysidro, 1 in downtown, an intern on the Elkhorn Boulevard Improvement District. And with that, I wouldn't, we had to be here and actually acknowledge our funders that were part of our program, those banks that have provided our program-related investments, and we're very thankful to everybody but specifically U.S. Bank, who's been an ongoing supporter of civic communities since we became a CDE, as well as those grant program banks that give the grants. Again, many of them providing funding so we can facilitate our programs, specifically U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, and J.P. Morgan Chase. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Alrighty, thank you so much. And clerk, do we have any public comment for this item? Alrighty, having none, we will now turn it over to RTF members for any questions or comments. Yes, sir.
Well, good afternoon. And first, I need to disclose that I'm a board member at Civic, and so I'm going to lob you a couple softballs. And I will say the reason I am there is because of the organization. It is the commitment to economic development at the ground level is just really critical. It's part of my passion personally, and this board that has been assembled, I think, is remarkable. Some of the folks, maybe you could share with us who some of the board members are. This is question number 1.
Yes, certainly. We have Tina Bartel, who is part of she does all the planning for the community college districts in San Diego. We have Kathy Limbo from South Bay Community Centers. We have Victor Avina, who is an advocate out in the community. Ted Shaw, who is a planner in the community, as well as, Yeah, we have quite a broad range of board members covering very specific expertise, whether it be business, finance, as well as community development.
And Robert Villarreal is one of the
Yes.
names I want to make sure we put out there. So what I'm really impressed, the reason I'm there is because the work is being done, and I think what's really remarkable is the new market tax credit placements, and I think in terms of what I'm going to say you, not we, in this setting here, that have been able to do in terms of being one of the foremost placers, but I don't know what the correct term is, but in terms of placing new market tax credits, your organization has been one of the most successful nationally. Can you back that up?
Yes, and that's all the work of Joanna, who's here today, as well as Michael and the hard work they do. We are excited about this. Last year, we received $85 million in allocation. In terms of we are a regional CDE, so we serve San Diego County. In terms of regional CDEs, it was the largest allocation nationwide, and then we were within the second largest national, competing against national CDEs, and the largest award was $90 million. So we feel San Diego did very well in obtaining $85 million that we spent and deployed here in San Diego.
Very good. Well, with that, I'm through grilling you, but thank you for the work that you do.
All righty, thank you for that.
Hey, really quick, I just want to congratulate you for the great work. I remember in 2020 we were able to provide the seed money for the CDFI, and it's amazing now to see all the things that you're doing with the CDFI and supporting our community. So congratulations.
All righty, please.
Just wanted to say thank you for the great work you're doing in the community. I just wanted to, I'm intrigued by the Rise Up project. Do you know the number of how successfully people have had reentry in the community, how they're doing beyond just program participation?
I will let Joanna answer that. I'm the expert in our new market projects.
You know, I'm not sure I heard the question clearly. Are you asking in terms of their outcomes?
Yes.
Okay, so I know they have a rate of 100% of their participants going on to get good, permanent, full-time jobs after finishing the 18-month program. And with regard to recidivism, I think their recidivism rate was like 4% when the national average is like 66%. So their outcomes have been fantastic. And coincidentally, we closed the transaction today. I just got confirmation about an hour ago. So we're super excited to be able to partner with them and to see how they are able to increase their impacts from 20 participants to being able to do 48 participants at a time. And also, we are, as part of our process, we do confirm that they they're in good standing with the community. So we do a community engagement meeting. And as part of that, we were able to garner from some of the other businesses that hire some of those employees after they finish. We had a representative from Juan Fargas's office that was able to confirm that this is a needed program and their impacts are great. We're also going to be working with another manufacturing company that hires employees from Rise Up Industries. So it's a whole effort to make sure it's not just one person doing the work, but the whole community is working together to make sure that this program is successful. So we're excited to be a part of that and see those impacts to really spread out.
Any other questions, comments? Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that wonderful presentation, and congratulations again on last year's accomplishments. Any sneak peeks as to things that are brewing that you would want to share, just maybe high level, get us excited?
Yeah, I think going back to our Building Business Success program, it's actually our 10th year through that, as well as our Access to Capital with Intern program. So we are very excited to launch our 10th year in that. We are continuing to look at potentially of expanding our geographical location, including Imperial Valley, and potentially out into Riverside as there are additional needs and the unmet needs in those areas. And again, and looking to strengthen basically our support within San Diego County and the projects we're looking for.
May I ask another?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Could you describe your activities in the Choyas watershed? Because I think that is very illustrative of different roles the organization can play in the community.
Yeah, and that is an interesting project. So we are approached by Groundwork San Diego, and given some of our history, we have individuals that are very experienced in construction management and working with various governmental entities in terms of constructing public projects, as well as working with federal and state agencies for grants. Groundwork San Diego is improving the Choyas Creek, and taking it from a concrete channel into a natural channelization, and working with the state agency that was providing the grant. They wanted Groundwork San Diego to have a little additional support, so we stepped in with Groundwork San Diego to provide not only the construction management, but the grant management. The project started off as a $3 million project, is now about a $6 to $7 million project, and will essentially turn the concrete channel into a natural habitat channel for the watershed.
And then in terms of administrative support for the organization and other nonprofits, could you talk a little bit about that?
So yeah, one of our other programs is providing fiscal sponsorship to other nonprofits that may not have the capacity given our organization. So whether it be payroll services, accounting services, administrative services, any other services we can provide to nonprofits. And we have done that with Groundwork San Diego, Canyon Lands, House of Blues, House of Music, and a few other organizations.
Thank you. Thank you for indulging me.
My pleasure. Yes, sir.
Want to first, I think, acknowledge all the really good work that you're doing. I've been really impressed with how this organization and its predecessor have really been kind of building out its offerings. My real question is, what is we as RTF members, what can we do to help, both as some of the nonprofits who are out maybe in the development space or community development space, and some of the financial institutions, in addition to providing, say, capital resources?
Yeah, without the blatant request for capital infusion, which always goes out to our lenders.
I mean, I'm all for that.
Yeah. Especially as San Diego seems to be overlooked, as much of it goes to LA and San Francisco. I think, help with loans and projects as you identify those, and maybe your organizations can't fund those, looking to partners such as ourselves and the other local CDFIs if they can provide that funding. Certainly looking for partnership opportunities as we do our sponsorship, and Wells Fargo, I think, is an ongoing sponsor of our BBS program and our veterans program, and we're excited for those type of partnerships. So certainly looking where we can partner with the individual financial institutions, partnered whether it's helping standing beside or loans that you may not be able to deploy, providing funding for those ongoing programs as well. So, anything?
No, I was the one that was going to do the blatant ask. As a former banker, community reinvestment, if you will, and as a longtime member of the task force, I think as a CDFI, I think we sit pretty uniquely because obviously we have a great community familiarity. And having the team that's behind, that I'm joined with Joanna and Michael, obviously we have a lot of experience in community reinvestment activities. So from the nonprofit perspective, I think it's important for us for them to know that we can be a provider of solutions, whether it's from new markets or gap financing. We have helped other nonprofits quite a bit with their initiatives that are maybe carry a burden of cash because they have to get reimbursed from a larger entity, a larger anchor entity. So we've been able to successfully do that, as well as provide technical assistance to individuals. So it's not just a lending capacity, but also a training capacity and an enabler of projects that have to come to fruition for that reinvestment activity. So I just want to thank again the financial institutions from a community reinvestment perspective that were legacy funders of Civic, and the partnerships that we're collaborating with today, and we look forward for additional.
All righty, thank you so much. I understand we have some comments from our co-chair.
Thank you. Appreciate the presentation. I have a quick question about the capacity or the technical assistance piece for nonprofits. how do you all choose the nonprofits you're going to work with? Do you have eligibility criteria? Is it more informal? You know, if I was going out, I hear a lot of need, right, in our community with nonprofits and that piece in particular, sort of the business side of the house. How would I go about recommending someone to you all?
Well, I think it's an excellent question because I think we support the organizations, the nonprofit organizations, in a number of ways. I know my colleague Joanna has done a number of trainings to the nonprofit developers when it comes to new markets. It's a very difficult, kind of not difficult, but it's a very detailed packaging in order to finance these projects. So she's held a number of workshops to how do you put together a new markets tax credit proposition. Mm-hmm. So whether it's the MAC project or the Federation or just other nonprofit organizations who are doing public benefit projects. Mm-hmm. You know, many of you may be familiar with the Jackie Robinson Y. You know, we had to do some training with them to make sure that they understand how that works. The layering, Casa Familiar in San Isidro, which just finished, right, winding down. At the time I was a board member, right? So I would bring them to Civic and say, listen, this is how this works. It's a little bit complicated, a little detailed, but you know, this is how it works. And that Living Rooms project was a great success.
But to your specific question, in terms of that, I assume it was the technical assistance.
Yes, I mean, you mentioned Groundwork and a few other nonprofits who are not necessarily going to be developing, but their business side of the nonprofit. We just hear that a lot when we put out for grant applications and things like that, the paperwork people have to show, and we're trying to find partners to help our nonprofits build capacity. So I just wanted to know what your structure was like.
Yeah, we don't have a formal application.
Okay.
It's certainly referral based. We talk with them, make sure there is mission alignment, with our organization,
Mm-hmm.
and something that our board would support, and then move forward.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yes. Sure.
Is the technical assistance you offer, is it staff that provides that, or are you partnering with other nonprofits or your investors to provide that?
Depending on the topic. So sometimes we provide the access to capital portion of the training. We also bring other subject matter experts when it comes to taxing and bonding and insurance. So we've partnered with Apex and the SBDC for certain instructors in certain topics. Correct.
Alrighty, anything else? Alrighty, having none, I'll try to close this out as quickly as I can. I do appreciate the conversation. Well, first let me say this. I do appreciate the good work that you guys are doing. I want to just go back to Rise Up. And I'd like to learn more about the relationship. I do have some concerns as we look at the community. They are new to District 4. They came from Santee. So me being the selfish person I am, I always try to make sure District 4 is serviced. And so I do have concern as they have come into the area, had their book of business already established, who exactly are they servicing and how they are growing and making sure that they are active with our residents, I guess I will say. So just something that I always look out for. The other item that I would, we just did what I think is a good thing as the Legal Aid Society. The Legal Aid Society was winding down their office in District 4. We were able to do a land transaction with the Black Chamber. And so now we have the Black Chamber that is now coming into the district. But one area that we do need help in is economic development, access to capital, those types of things. So I think I will be falling back and seeing what type of conversations we can have as we look at how we can lift up support and grow our economic base in the district. So we got a lot of good things going. Hopefully we'll see some growth in regards to our small businesses. But also, just as we have quite a few things that the county has done over time where they actually made it to where folks can get their houses, I guess, approved for cooking and certain things, to where we want to look at how can we, assist that group to grow for those that want to grow, whether if it's a truck or brick and mortar, a pop-up as we're hitting certain events and so forth. So I'll be falling back to have some very specific meetings to see how we can further the partnership and look how we can grow the district.
We'd love to talk more.
Okay. Right. I'm sorry. Yeah, in the Black Arts and Culture District, right? I say it so much. I say it so much, right? Because we got a lot of good things going, and I think it would be if we can take an organization such as yours that is really established to focus on gaps and needs. I think there's a lot of opportunity with District 4 and what we have going on. So we'll fall back and get those meetings set up and established. So thank you. With that, seeing no one else, that will conclude item 6. And now we will move on to item 7, the staff report. This is an informational item, so no motion is required. With that, Deborah Fisher-Falk, RTF staff, and San Diego Housing Commission Senior Vice President of Community and Strategic Initiatives will now provide the staff report.
Thank you, and it'll be short and sweet. I know it is. Henry and I used to work together a while back at the city.
Just for clarification, she was my boss.
And now look at us.
And I was too at one time.
Exactly. So I just wanted to briefly say that, the March meeting cancellation email, I advised you all about the workforce reduction that the Housing Commission had to do due to unprecedented financial challenges. And what that meant was the prior staff that supported this group actually were part of the reduction in force. And so I took on Marcel's role, and that was added to my plate. Michelle Slingerland in the back, she has taken on managing the website, being the clerk, and various other duties as I assign them to her. And Zinnia Burgoyne is taking the minutes now, and they both will be working on your parking tickets and all that kind of stuff, all of that administrative things. So, couple more things. Anytime you see the agenda that says revised agenda, that means there was a clerical error, typo, and we were just updating that. So if you see revised, if it's typically a clerical error. If it's something major, it'll be on the top of your agenda. So I just wanted to let you know that. For the next board meeting, we plan on having a presentation for the ADU, the Housing Commission's ADU program. So I just want to put that on your radar as well. And that's it. That concludes my staff report.
All right. Thank you for that. We will now turn to RTF members for any questions or comments. Any? Yes, please.
Always. So first off, let me just welcome Ms. Falk, official Falk here. We have known each other coming on 30 years. We were kindergartners doing economic development. I was on El Cajon Boulevard at the time, actually. But it's so welcome. I really appreciate the wealth of experience, the wisdom that you're bringing to this, and I'm just delighted to be working with you. Then just a couple of quick announcements. We are releasing annually, there's a California Housing Needs Report by the California Housing Partnership. So that report will be coming out on the 15th of May. We will be holding our traditional press conference. The findings are secret until that day. They're embargoed, but I will share with you one fact, which is the cost of living here. We're seeing some improvements in actually the number of houses, the housing gap, which was 135,000 homes needed for families at 50% AMI and below. That gap has gone from 135 down to 129,000. Minor improvement on the scale of things, but improvement is better than worsening as it has every year. And I'm again asking, please don't repeat this in public as I'm speaking into a mic. I'll share one more. And meeting minutes, okay. The wage to live here, to afford an average apartment in asking rent in San Diego, city of San Diego, now requires a wage of $50.90 an hour. And so that is up from $48 last year. So the situation is leveling out, but the challenges remain. That press release, press conference will take place on the 15th. We'll have the full, all the data available at that time, and we thank the California Housing Partnership for doing that. Second announcement is Monday, we open up workshop submittals for our conference, which will be October 1st this year. So on Monday, the 4th, the portal on our website will open. We'll be accepting submittals for the workshops. We'd encourage all of you to elevate the best work either that you are doing or that your partners and funders and fundees are doing. We look forward to hosting most of you again at the conference. Thank you.
All righty, thank you so much. Any other comments or questions from members? Oh, Chair.
I'll just do, thank you so much. I'll just do a quick update. So the county's budget will be released on May 18th, on or about May 18th. So we will have a few public hearings. We are looking at how to respond to HR 1, the big, beautiful bill that cuts out a lot of services for folks, particularly Medi-Cal and CalFresh. As you all know, the county is the public health agency of the region, and we administer those programs because the state requires us to. It's really their job, but through realignment, they have assigned it to all the 58 counties in California. Not every state is like that, but California is. And so we're really looking at ways to fill the gap and make sure that as many people as possible stay covered. As you all know, our immigrant community is certainly at risk. The first deadline to no longer provide CalFresh benefits to that particular community was April 1st. And so we're going to see an additional drop off for Medi-Cal on or about June 1. Price Philanthropies is working with Covered California on a pilot program to try to keep many in the population covered, but we're being as creative as possible. We know all of these things are part of our economy. They really have direct and indirect impacts on all of us. We're looking at the possibility of all of our premiums going up because of the lack of funding in the Medi-Cal population, which many times is the foundation of our healthcare system. We have over 900,000 San Diegans that are on Medi-Cal right now, and that's a third of our population. So just keep an eye out sort of for how we are looking to fill those gaps. But again, the budget comes out May 18th, and we're looking forward to those conversations. And don't believe everything you read about the county. If you have any questions, ask me. Okay.
All righty, thank you. Does that conclude comments for item 7, I believe? Is that what we were on? All righty, so I think 8 is the last item. We'll close 7 and 8. Task force member comments. If anyone has any other news or updates, go around the room if anyone has anything to add. You?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. A couple weeks ago, Wakeland celebrated the grand opening of our Terralta project in City Heights. Just want to thank, U.S. Bank was the construction lender and investor. Both the city and the San Diego Housing Commission were funders of that project, and it's a really lovely project. Appreciate everybody's support in bringing it to fruition. And it's really part of a much larger community development effort that, Price Philanthropies has been putting together for going on 30 years. And so it's really exciting to see lots of services, community services, the Y across the street, and then, a lot of lovely affordable apartments being constructed in City Heights. In this project in particular, very large proportion of the units are 3 and 4 bedrooms that are not produced by, market rate apartment builders and desperately needed in City Heights. So thank you, everyone.
Any other comments, news, updates? Very good. All right, please.
Thank you. Along the same lines, City just recently announced the Blueprint for Housing Opportunity Initiative, which is making a $60 billion commitment to increase housing supply throughout the U.S., focusing on at least 250,000 units over the next 5 years. We're still working on how it's going to be shaped and molded, but one thing we do know is that San Diego is an eligible region under this initiative. In addition to that, the City Foundation is committing $50 million of philanthropic grants that will go to nonprofits that are not only addressing housing challenges, but are also supporting the financial health of residents. So more to come on how organizations will be able to receive more information and have access to the process of soliciting through the RFP process that the City Foundation typically has. So, yeah, so more to come on that in the near future.
All righty, very good. Any other news or updates, announcements? All righty, having none, I will just close with next week will be the city's budget review committee. So if you want to know everything about the city's budget and the deficit and the conversations that will be taking place, please tune in. It'll be Monday through Friday, so if you want to understand the budget.
Budget chair.
So with that, thank you. That'll close our last item. And this brings us to the end of today's agenda. Thank you to the members of the public and staff for your participation. And this meeting is now adjourned at 3:04 p.m. Thank you so much.